I'm sure you've all heard about random people turning a couple hundred or $1,000 into hundreds of thousands or even millions in business. But there's someone who made a lot more than all of these guys while taking on far less risks. Because you know what they say, when there's a gold rush, you don't want to be digging for gold. You want to be the person selling the shovels. And that's exactly what Hamdi Ulukaya did, but without ever starting a business from scratch. In order to learn the story, we'll need to go back to January 2005. Hamdi grew a yogurt factory. But for you to understand what we're talking about, Hamdi grew a yogurt factory, and in less than 5 years, he built $1 billion company, and now he's worth more than $2 billion. And the beauty is, he never started the business from scratch. He actually bought it. Hear how he did it.
As a consumer, I look for a yogurt first, and then later on I found out that there is a business opportunity. And then when I saw this ad that said fully equipped yogurt plant for sale, and it was a craft plant, they were closing after 95 years, I bought it with an SBA loan, and that's how it started.
Now, did I mention that he barely knew English? It's funny, but Forbes calls Hamdi the yogurt king. So here's the full story of Hamdi Ulukaya and how he became the richest known yogurt figure. Taking a look back, Hamdi was born on October 26, 1972, in Turkey to a dairy farming Kurdish family in Ilk, a small village in Turkey, Erzincan province. So I think it's safe to assume he had a pretty rough childhood. In fact, his family owned and operated a sheep, goat, and dairy farm in Turkey where they made cheese and yogurt. Now, although he uses 26th of October as his birthday, Hamdi says that he is uncertain of his exact birthday because he was born during one of the family's mountain treks. As for school, you might think he got started in business right away, but in fact, he studied political science in Ankara University. In 1994, Hamdi moved to the United States to study English at Adelphi University on Long Island, New York. Growing up, Hamdi's family lived a simple, semi-nomadic life, taking care of their flocks. In 1997, he decided to move upstate and study at the University of Albany, State University of New York, where he enrolled in a few business courses. While working on a farm, Hamdi's father visited and tasted the local cheese, finding it quite inferior. He encouraged Hamdi to import their family's feta cheese from Turkey. And guess what? People loved it. So in 2002, Hamdi opened his own wholesale feta cheese plant called Euphrates in Johnstown, New York. Although the business was a challenge, after 2 years, it had just barely broken even. Hamdi later said, quote, "It was 2 years of the most challenging days of my life." In 2005, Hamdi stumbled upon a junk mail ad for a yogurt factory in South Edmiston, New York. Although he initially discarded the filler, something, a gut feeling he had, drew him to visit the old factory that had been closed by Kraft Foods. Despite advice against it, he decided to buy that factory and he used a loan. So with a loan and some business grants, Hamdi launched his new company, Agropharma. He hired a few former Kraft employees, and together they aimed to create yogurt that resembled the kind Hamdi enjoyed back in Turkey. Enter Mustafa Dugan, a yogurt master from Turkey. Together, they spent 2 years of perfecting their yogurt recipe. To create their strained yogurt, they needed a milk separator, a pricey piece of equipment for them back then. Hamdi said that if you buy a new one, it's $1.5 million. But Hamdi found the used one in Wisconsin for $50,000. During that trip, the name Chobani came to him. Chobani yogurt was made without preservatives, and Hamdi invested heavily in unique packaging to make the brand stand out. And so, the Chobani adventure began. In October 2007, Hamdi shipped his first few hundred cases of Chobani yogurt to a Long Island grocer. The store quickly reordered, and Hamdi knew he was onto something. He used unconventional tactics to grow his business. Instead of paying expensive slaughtering fees, he traded yogurt to stores for shelf space and negotiated to pay off fees over time. He also let customers sample Chobani in store, allowing them to taste and buy the yogurt right away. With no budget for traditional marketing, Hamdi's team turned to social media and vloggers to engage with customers and consumers directly. They listened to their customers and fostered genuine connections. By 2010, they introduced the Cho Mobile, a sampling truck that handed out free Chobani yogurt at events across the US. In its first year, the truck gave away 150,000 full-size containers of Chobani. Chobani's rise is truly amazing. Starting from 2009, sales doubled each year thanks to BJ's Wholesale Club and Costco's sale. By 2012, they opened the world's largest yogurt factory and became the top yogurt brand. In 2017, they claimed over 50% of the US Greek yogurt market. Chobani then went global, reaching Australia in 2011, Mexico in 2016, and China, Malaysia, and Thailand by 2021. Now, unlike some greedy entrepreneurs out there, Hamdi shared that businesses should foster purpose in their culture to bring positive change in the world. He believes companies need to prioritize humanity, not just profits. Hamdi is also big on philanthropy. In 2015, he joined the Giving Pledge, initiated by Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, vowing to give away the majority of his wealth to philanthropic causes. So that's how Hamdi went from $0 to $2 billion in just 5 years. Do you guys believe that Hamdi and Chobani will continue to grow and expand? Only time will tell. Comment your thoughts below and drop a like if you wish you could make $2 billion in 5 years without ever starting a business from scratch. And of course, feel free to suggest future video ideas and consider subscribing to see more videos like this.